There are number of issues associated here: ultra processed food, 10 minutes delivery. But I'll start with this 10 minutes delivery. No pun intended. I know the workplace requires people to get food immediately, but I see that somehow it's really replacing the homemade food. Uh, Dr. Shikha, homemade food, homemade snacks, and it's leading to the problems which we witness and the ones I have tabulated. Is there a tor to it, as we say in Hindi?
You're absolutely right. So, first thing we must understand is when we call for a 10-minute delivery, it is impulsive eating. It is not a thought through eating, it is impulsive. And impulsive decisions are mostly to titillate the taste buds or for something which is more entertaining, exciting. So, first thing is impulsive eating is going up. Second thing is these 10-minute deliveries can only happen because the food is already pre prepared and has a higher shelf life, which means it's not naturally fresh. It is pre prepared to a certain state so that by the time an order comes, that pre prepared is then just taken to the last level of heating, or it's not a full cooking, as you would say. And any pre prepared food has preservatives in it. That is very important to understand because normal cooking takes time. If you go to a normal restaurant and you place an order, you will see it takes time for the chef to come back and give you that meal. So this pre-prepared in 10 minutes, how is it possible? It is already with preservatives and half done. Now the second thing is that convenience is is unfortunately the biggest problem today humanity is facing. So people have stopped walking, people prefer to shop from home. Now we cannot change that really because that's the way we are all going. But however, if we are able to bring health foods and give bigger subsidies on health foods, then there is a possibility. For example, okay, ladies are working, so they or men are working, so they cannot do a lot of pre-cooking at home. But if you have salads or if you have foods which are like chopped vegetables, sealed packs, then it's easier to go and get that and cook that. So what I'm trying to say is the industry has to come up with more nutritious choices rather than feeding impulsive eating behavior.
Okay. Dr. Swati Maheshwari, isn't it, before we get down to the diseases, it's also a reflection of the society where entire effort has been last 100 years to create food which can last, which can be on shelf, which can be preserved. You can make them today, eat them tomorrow, which allows a lot of mobility. Hence, the local goes out, the freshness goes out. Even your fridge, what is the natural tendency? You cook the vegetable which is about to go bad in next 2 hours. That's psychology. So I mean to say it's interconnected with the way we as a society has evolved, isn't that?
Absolutely, and you're very true in saying that because right now, if you look at Indian scenario or for that matter, the world scenario as well, we have adopted these processed foods now into our, the nutritional basket that we have. And that is the situation because, as you rightly said, it is part of growing, it is part of evolving where things have been simplified, where people have tried to create more convenient foods which are available so that we can put our minds to other work and do our other chores more effectively. But to the extent now that it has infiltrated so much of our nutritional health data that now it is very, very concerning that we really need to look back and see as to what went wrong. Actually, have we adopted too much of it, or are we not realizing that it is actually a slow growing cancer that is affecting us? Because obviously these food items, they don't affect you immediately, but over the time, as and more we consume this, and the way that you have shown the data, it is so concerning that it's a tsunami that is waiting to hit us for that matter. Because if you look at the Indian population now, most of them have pre-diabetics, most of them have fatty liver, blood pressure has become a very common problem, and now cancers are happening at a very early age. All this is actually showing that our food pattern has completely gone haywire. And look at the kids in the Gen Z that is now consuming processed foods. It's such a fast pace. Even if you look at these various apps that are there, the consumption rate in India is super high right now. And I think that's why it is very important to talk to everybody about the bad effects of these processed foods, as to how they impact our health, how they actually are taking over all the better nutrition that we used to have, and it's all crap that we are consuming now. It is not going to help us in any way, for that matter. It is only giving taking us downhill completely. And I think that is what is so essential, because now parents have also become quite complacent to the fact that children are ordering food by themselves. They can order food at any time of the day. Even a late night ordering is happening, and you feel hungry even after dinner. You want to order some desserts, or you want to order more food. It has become so common in the households now. You see delivery agents running around 24/7. Any time of the day you're out on the street, you'll see delivery agents all over the street. And this is very, very alarming, and something
Okay.
that definitely people should look at.
Okay, Dr. Parjeet Kaur, I would like to know from you, what does this combination of sugar, fat, and salt do to your insulin, pancreas, liver? That's one. And how do you define what constitutes an ultra processed food? People know there's something called fast food, but what constitutes this ultra processed food?
Right. So, as we are discussing that how these processed and ultra processed food are causing diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. So, the basic process which starts actually it's very long back. People get obese, diabetes years later. This is actually very gradual consumption of all these materials over a period of year that people will get the diseases. The process starts with that these salty foods, sugary foods, and the processed foods containing trans fats, once they get inside the body, they cause a inflammatory state in the body. That inflammation, so our body releases kind of a pro-inflammatory or bad chemicals in our body, which causes insulin resistance. So insulin is a natural hormone to control our blood sugar levels. So when these pro-inflammatory cytokines, these bad chemicals are circulating in the body, insulin stops acting. And once insulin stops acting, that
Can
leads
you
to
just
the
explain to our viewers what is insulin resistance?
yes. So insulin resistance is basically the work of insulin is to bring the blood glucose level, circulating blood glucose level inside the cells and provide energy to the cells, right? So once these cells stop consuming glucose because the insulin is not working, why the insulin is not working? Because all these food items which we are eating are releasing certain kind of pro-inflammatory cytokines. When insulin stops working where it's supposed to work, that is called insulin resistance. And then insulin levels start building up. And that is the process which starts, this is the first process to start. And then it leads to subsequently your obesity, your heart problems, your diabetes, pre-diabetes, the fatty liver. And of course, side by side, what is happening is the obesity, the fat accumulation, and excessive adipocytes or the fat cells, which are supposed to be there under our skin, they start spilling over on your organs. So more is the fatty liver, more is the fatty pancreas, more is insulin resistant. That becomes a vicious cycle then. So this is how the gradual consumption of all these high sugary and salty and trans fats they work.
Okay, but it's time for a short break. When I'm going to come back, we're going to decode two things. What is inflammation? A lot of people would like to know that from all of you. What is inflammation? Why inflammation is bad for your body? And the second thing which people want to really know from all of you is that what are those hidden elements which you must look at before you buy things from the shelf? The word emulsifier, what does that mean? The sort of oils which they are written. What are the words which should alarm us before we buy that pack of nice looking chocolate or noodle? What should alarm us? Should sodium alarm us? Should emulsifiers alarm us? What should alarm us? Let me straight away go to Dr. Shikhar Sharma. Madam, what should we look out for when we pick up something from the shelf, chips, chocolates? What are the words which we should look out for, saying, okay boss, you don't buy this, this is not good for your body, it's ultra processed? Because we don't have those warnings in India.
Absolutely. I think the first thing we should definitely look out for is the saturated fat or the trans fat levels. Trans fats ideally should be zero or at least less than 1%. So that is number one. Number two is the salt and sugar is the next two things which we must look for. High salt and high sugar are directly damaging for the body. Then then we should look at artificial preservatives, emulsifiers, because and artificial flavorings. So flavorings, emulsifiers, and stabilizers, all these are chemicals. They might be called that okay, they are class one, they are okay for human consumption, but they're not okay for continuous human consumption. Once in a while, the body can detoxify itself, but continuous consumption of these things leads to build up to gut biome problem. Your gut gets affected, your liver gets affected, your hormones get affected. In fact, mood swings start happening in children because the gut and the brain axis exists. There is a gut brain communication. So what is important is emulsifiers, saturated fats, trans fats, salt, sugar, artificial color, artificial flavors, stabilizers. All of them are something
We should
which,
look out for.
and of course, ultra processed fructose.